There we go. Now we got action. The
So
time is wrong on here, Gabby. You need to fix the time.
Wednesday, March 20th, 5:08, podcast episode 65, almost to 100.
Almost to 100.
What are you going to do this weekend?
John, it's Wednesday.
My days go really fast. Like, today has gone so fucking quick.
It's Wednesday.
Dude, I got out of bed, my feet hit the floor at 4:30. I was outside making a video at 5 a.m.
Here's the thing about my weekends. It's very rare that prior to Friday evening I have a schedule on what I'm going to do for my weekends, because I don't know what kind of home ambush I'm going to get. Oh, you know what I think I am going to do something this weekend. I'm going to go to Joe-Bill, some town right outside of Nashville, and I'm going to look at a Mercedes-Benz.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a 419.
What is that?
It's a 419 Mercedes-Benz.
Unimog?
Yeah.
Who has it?
Some dude has like one in pristine.
What is a 419?
So it's actually the one that the Unimog that the military uses called it. It's called the
Which military?
Our military.
So you're about, what year is it?
It's 89, I think.
Yes, yeah, I don't know anything beyond 63, 64. I know the Unimog 604.
Yeah, well, so so basically what happened is, initially, I don't know if it was the Army or the Marine Corps, but the original ones came from Europe, and then when they got here and the military decided they wanted to go with them, Freightliner started to build them. And when Freightliner started to build them, they're still considered Unimogs.
I would rather have. But
they call them FLU 419s.
Who makes the LMTV? What's that company? It's 4 letters.
Yeah,
I want to say it's like AWOL or something.
I do not know.
So the guys from Expedition Overland, they were going to Montana. Oh, they're in Montana or Idaho, whatever. But they were going to this ranch, and it was super fucking deep in snow, and they could not get in. And they called this rich dude, just had one of these fucking things. Dude, that thing was badass.
Right through it, drove right through it.
Fucking through it like it wasn't even there. It was driving through, and then the other trucks coming through its tracks were getting stuck.
The LMTV. I know that here's the problem with any military.
This is a civilian one.
Yeah. Here's the problem with any military vehicle, though. Anything that the military buys, there's always going to be a military mechanic out there that's going to be like, that thing is a piece of shit. But there's a really good video of the National Guard going into New Orleans when it flooded.
Oh yeah.
And
the water's in the they're
driving down the street. You watch these vehicles go underwater, so much so that the dudes in the back of the truck swim out of the truck, and the truck keeps going, and all you see is a Kevlar helmet of a dude outside of the truck.
There's video
like
of
a shark going.
There's video of the dude in the truck underwater. The whole fucking, the dude driving is underwater.
So those trucks they're pretty badass.
So does it run?
It's brand new. He's got plates on, so this one's got a trailer and the truck, and they both have plates. Just the one. So I'm gonna go look at it.
What's the asking?
The asking is 27. So for a totally refurbished one, so there's a company I think this is right, in Illinois. It's called CNC Trucking, and they refurbish military vehicles. You've probably seen them.
I think there's a CNC Trucking in Kentucky too. It
might be top of Kentucky. It's close enough where I thought about driving to them. So there is a company there that totally refurbishes the vehicles. So like you can get a brand new, 5-ton brand new Unimog, brand new Humvee from these guys. From them, a totally brand new one is $24,000. But that's minus the tools. So tools.
So you're still buying a tractor truck?
Yeah, I'm still buying a tractor truck. I want a tractor truck.
So what's the speed on it? Like 30?
Well, no. Because of the bucket on the front, the trucks are very unstable. So they do not recommend you going over 40 miles an hour.
So did you see the video of some dudes that have a big off-road YouTube channel, right? They drive all over the place. They bought one, the old ones with the outriggers and everything.
Yeah.
And they went to, I think it was CNC Trucking. They went in there and they took the old wheels off and put new tires on. Took the bucket off, took the backhoe off, and they took that truck and went and did a bunch of fucking crazy
Yeah, probably. I think I've
shit.
seen that video.
And that thing fared really well. Like, the truck fucking fell over. I think it, like, knocked the roof off of it or something.
It's not a really good... I mean, the reality of the Unimog is just like the Marine Corps, the old Marine Corps M15 Jeep. The Unimog in itself was made because they didn't have tractors in Europe. So they geared this thing so it's really... The Unimogs are really more tractor than they are vehicle.
Yeah, it's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tractor, yeah.
They're really more tractor than they are vehicles.
Fucking...
Yeah, so that's why... You know, they only go 45 miles an hour. Even the 45 miles or 50 miles an hour on the freeway, even the overland guys, like, unless you're nostalgic, so my need is purely nostalgic. Unless you're nostalgic, you don't want to get a Unimog to go fucking traveling around the United States.
No, you want to get a newer one.
Yeah, you want to get a new, you know, like that's a 314
like
or...
you see guys at the expos at Overland, he's like, yeah, it took me 10 days to get here.
Yeah, that
45 miles of that. Yeah,
because you just can't. You're not going anywhere.
It's vibrating the fuck out of you. It's damaging the vehicle at that kind of speed. Yeah. You know, they do have another gear set. You can drop the gears and put a higher gear ratio in them. So it has a backhoe on it.
It's complete.
Backhoe, bucket, outriggers, everything's there, but it's missing the tools.
No, the one in Nashville has all the tools.
Oh.
It's the one, if you go to CNC, the company in where we say Kentucky, they don't sell the vehicles with the tools. So my guess is...
They take the tools and
sell them off. My guess is, though, because it says, you know, we have all the different shit for these vehicles. My guess is that it would still probably be around $27,000 with all the tools.
So what about the one that's local here?
That's what I'm going to go look at this weekend. I'm just going to go look at it.
No, there's one. There's that like 15 minutes from here.
That doesn't have the tools.
But would we really use the tools? Like we pretty much have all those tools, don't we?
You know,
but I mean, for real everyday use.
For real everyday use, you should probably buy
those Husqvarna chainsaws outside are probably a lot better than that fucking chainsaw that comes with it.
But for real everyday, well, yeah, because the problem with
I get it. You want a Swiss Army knife.
The problem with the hydraulic system is you're dragging those hoses around. So you got to fuck... You know, it's kind of like...
a PTO would be nice. It'd be nice to be able to run a...
The only problem is that fucking PTO won't run anything but that damn backhoe.
Unimog shit.
Yeah.
It won't. So it's not a pass-through?
It's not a pass-through.
So I could have sworn somebody had a gen set for those that would run a generator.
Maybe if you took the backhoe off... But that all the literature that I've been reading, they're like, it's not a pass through. You can't use anything while the backhoe's on there. So
you're just gonna do it through the bank, or you're just gonna
through the bank? If I do it,
I'm just gonna take a small little Pelican case with $37,000 because that's what 27,000. Shit, you could put that in a.
No, I think for dramatic.
You could put 27 grand in like a. Oh, I don't know, a TK4 pouch.
I think for dramatic purposes, I should take the biggest Pelican case I have.
You should, and then just keep opening more and more Pelican cases.
Until it gets to the little one.
That'd be awesome.
We'll see. I'm just going to look at it and say
I'm excited for you.
I didn't say I was going to buy it.
I'll be in Nashville, so if you guys want to have dinner or something,
right.
Let us know. In regards to people talking about the currency devaluing and economic collapse, look at Venezuela. We did that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Assume all your information is out there. We did that one. Wow. And double wow. 225. We did that one. What are your thoughts on alkaline water versus mineral water? I don't know, man. You hear people say, yeah, you want fucking acidic water. No, you don't want acidic water. Shit can't grow in acidic water. Raise your oxygen level. Fucking bad shit can't grow oxygenated. You do that through hydrogen peroxide therapy. Look at that shit. There's a lot of... Seems pretty impressive when you look at it. I drink Berkey water. We have Berkey. I've bought a lot of Berkey water filters. I like the way it tastes, or doesn't taste, I should say. I'm so used to drinking Berkey water that when I drink bottled water, most of it has a weird taste to it.
Oh, chlorine.
I drink Essentia water, which has a different pH in it. That's really good. I really like Fiji water, square bottle water. That's my favorite. If I go to a place in a gas station or something, Fiji water is typically what I buy. I don't know is the real answer.
I just, do due diligence and do some good research. Don't just look at the propaganda that whatever
the
bottled
company's
water
trying to sell you
put out or whatever. There's actually a podcast that talks about that. It's who's my medical Sawbones. So Sawbones talks about that and says, the reality is, if you're paying $9 for alkaline water, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything to your body, because your body itself regulates how much alkaline you have in your system. Because if it didn't, you would die. So there are people. They talk about that there are people that have regulation problems, that don't have a balanced pH per se, but those people are all in the hospital. So just something to. I don't know the true answer. I think the reality of the United States, for the most part, is we are spoiled because we have had clean water for, we've had clean water for 100 years probably in the United States. Maybe not that long, but we've had clean water, and we've gone from clean water from the tap to clean water into bottles, and now everybody's drinking bottled water. So we got to make smart water, and now we got to make smart water that has alcohol. I think we're just spoiled here in the United States.
Looking for the next thing.
Yeah, we're looking for the next fucking whiz bang thing to make us feel better about what we're drinking.
You got to remember too, like we grew up running around out in canyons and shit. We would always run out of that fucking canteen of water. Camelbacks didn't even exist, so we were drinking water out of fucking ponds. Not even moving water. I mean, ponds.
Yeah, go ahead and drink.
There's dead animals on the shore, and we're drinking that water. At 6th grade camp, they're like, beaver fever, don't drink out of the fucking water. I'm like, fuck this, I'm thirsty, so I'm drinking right out of the pond. Did we get sick? Maybe, I don't fucking know. I mean, eventually you got some sinus infection or something, and mom took you to the doctor a year later, and they gave you some antibiotics that killed whatever you had, probably. Did I ever know I was sick from it? No. Would I go do it here in Tennessee? Fuck no. I mean, I've got all kinds. I've got a box with probably 20 different fucking... I have every water filter, every method of water filtration, killing anything in the water. I have every method imaginable, from a SteriPen to drops to neutralizer to fucking filters to gravity filters, sand filters, charcoal filter. I mean, you name it. I drink water out of a fucking hose. Like when I'm outside, I drink right out of the fucking faucet.
That's what I was going to say, is how many of you, if you're older, I wasn't even allowed to go in the house during the day.
No, yeah.
Not, you thirsty? That's what the hose is for. Like, if you even think about...
And the babysitter, and the babysitter, when you were over there, they just fed you like a dog.
Yeah.
Like the dog at least had food when it wanted it. You had to like go and stand there and wait for them to open the fucking sliding door and hand you some bread. It was bread and some peanut butter.
Yeah, man. Drinking hot water out of a fucking hose.
Yep. So we'd go so far out in the canyon, we would end up in another town on the outskirts of town. And they would have done all this paving and grading, right? There's never been a house there. It's been paved and graded. Like Dave Portola Middle School for 20 years was graded. There was no school there. They finally built the school, right? So we'd go out in the canyons and we just find some like housing development. There was no ever house, but there was piping there. There was sprinklers because they planted trees. And we pull a head off of sprinkler and start sucking through there, and you would always get like a snail or some spider web or something. So you'd kind of huff that shit out and spit the few out, and then you'd get some water.
You're the reason why all those pipes in California now say not potable water.
Probably. And the crazy thing, the non-potable water along the freeway, when they test it, is fucking cleaner than the water coming out of your faucet.
Well, it really comes from the same source because...
Probably.
Yeah, they have to...
Well, it's the reclaimed poop water that they're using.
But the thing is, they have to use the same system. They're not digging up the freeway and putting in fucking purple pipe.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have to use the same system, so it's coming through the same.
Good point.
The distribution system is the same.
They're supposed to be taking all the. They're supposed to be pipe. They're supposed to put some giant pipeline down to Gloria. Where did they play over the line at?
Oh, on Padre Island.
Padre Island down there. So that's where the poop water plant is, and then they're supposed to pump all that back across the 805 over to the 15. You're right.
Yeah, how did they get that water there without digging up the fucking freeway?
Maybe Elon Musk built it for him.
Maybe Elon.
Nick Primo, what's up, Nick? Just rent the Porsche to Cody for a year so he can experience the thrill. Nothing says, "Are you ready to live fast?"
Like wrapping it around
Like
the
owning
telephone
something
pole.
that'll go over 150 in a timely manner. And with that fast fun comes all the true deciding factors, like the monthly payment, the car insurance, the gas, any upgrades, fixes, maintenance, driving classes, training, even the possible tickets you may get hammered with. I like to call all that the shit list. The shit list is what I feel prohibits most people from the long-term fast life. I don't know. Like when every time I get a taste of it, like we're fucking all in. Like it'll be a whole race team. It's really a commitment when you break down the numbers. And more often than not, the depreciation value of the car, truck, bike, boat is crazy unless you really do your homework on what you're. I don't even look at the cost of ownership. Because if I do, I'll be like, like I want to do this, so I don't want to know the cost of ownership. Like the trade-in on the truck, the cost of ownership per month was fucking pretty crazy. So when you buy a car like that, you know, your monthly payments, if let's say you lease it or, you know, they want to see 20% down. And car credit is different. Like, so there's a thing called car credit, which isn't really talked about. But if you look at VinWiki and Ed Bolian, he was the head finance manager for Atlanta Lamborghini. VinWiki is very cool. Anybody that's into cars, you should get the VinWiki app and use it. You should look at the VinWiki YouTube videos. It's really, it's pretty wild. It's just dudes in the car industry telling stories. He's like, yeah, so we blew up this motor in this fucking rough Porsche, and we had to race this. We had a race coming up this weekend, and the crate motor, we could get one in here, but it was like $24,000, and we didn't have that. So we got with our other buddy that sold cocaine, and we just fucking broke some cocaine down. So for 2 weeks we were selling cocaine, and then we got the motor, and then we were back racing. Like, it's just shit. Like, you're like, holy fuck. But these are all the guys that have done the Cannonball Rally and the Gumball Rally and all this shit, and every fucking one of them. There's some videos out there before Fast and Furious came out. Fast and Furious really kind of fucked it up for all these guys, but there was these two dudes that are like, we want to go to the Gumball Rally, but we're not registered, so we're just gonna take our car. And when they pulled in at Opry Mills,
okay,
at Opryland. So they hide their car in a dumpster in the big dual doors.
Okay.
So they hide their car there, and they go in, and then they kind of in the morning they bring their car out and kind of put it in line, and they're like, "Oh, you're with." So one of the security guards let them through. So they go to the chick there, and they're like, "Hey, we don't have our paper." "Oh, no worries," and she gives them some fucking paperwork, and boom, they're in the fucking Gumball Rally. Like we have thousands of stories like shit like that. Just,
that's the way to do
Jeff's
it, man.
thing is just like act like you belong there.
Act like you belong there.
Act like you own it. Nobody will fucking question it. So, anyways, Ed Bolian talks about car credit, and they want to see that you've owned. So, like, if you've been buying Toyotas, Ford, Chevys, right, and you go to finance, you know, a $250,000 car, they want to see that you've owned a $100,000 car, a $150,000 car, and before they give you a $100,000 car, they want to see that you've owned a $50,000 car. So you kind of have to work up to it. So there's a progression, and it's like, you know, Porsche, GTR, jump up to, you know, Ferrari, Lamborghini, that kind of shit. But the cost of ownership on those cars, your car payment is going to be $2,500 a month on the car, and that's not the cost of ownership, that's just the payment. Figure double that on cost of ownership for maintenance if you're actually driving the car. And we drive those cars, so like, you have to assume your cost of ownership, when you really break it down, works out to about $5,000 a month to have that car sitting and taking some trips on the weekends.
I heard I'm stealing this from Joe Rogan. Little thing they were talking about today on the podcast. It's pretty funny. A rapper goes in to buy a Ferrari, and so the Ferrari dealer guy, you know, the salesman sees the rapper at the Ferrari, and he's like,
got him.
I'm gonna get a sale. So he cruises over there, and he's, you know, he introduces himself, and he's like, looks like you're thinking really hard about whether or not you're gonna buy this car. And the rapper looks at him and goes, "No, I'm going to buy the car. I was thinking about pussy."
So Ed Bolian has a bunch of stories about rappers renting cars to rappers, selling cars to rappers. There's a video, the time I bought a Murcielago from a prostitute. Like, that's a great fucking video. There's a lot. It's very entertaining. You guys should check it out. You'll like it. And if you're kind of in that industry somehow, or you have a story you think would go, if you shoot a message to Ed Bolian, like, he'll get back to you. He's reachable. Like owning something, depreciation value truck, maybe have him tip his toes in the water by grabbing a C5, C6 vet. There's plenty of low mile Corvette. Yeah, vets are fucking all over the place. 20 to 30 cheap supercars for what they'll do. And dollar for dollar, the used ones hold their value while giving you plenty of fun and experience. Fuck, think I just realized what I'll be putting in the driveway this summer. So I'm looking at, just as a fucking kind of a toy, a usable toy, a C65 AMG Mercedes. They're pretty fucking tough. They come all carbon fibered out. There's different levels of them. The last year they made them, they were actually taking the bottom end of the motor out of the 500 Gull Wings and putting them in there. Those cars are fucking super built. And the last year that they made those things, it came fucking feature rich. And you can buy those. Like, they're out there. There's a place in Texas that has like 8 of them right now. You can literally get any fucking color you want. 2-door, 4-door. Just a cool car. And we have a Mercedes dude that fucking knows all that, like inside and fucking out. And that's what he said. He goes, that'd be a great car. He goes, that's fucking John Willis proof. He said you could beat the fuck out of that car, is what he said. Best Mexican and also best retro diner I know of exists in Fallon, Nevada, El Azteca, and Jerry's fucking awesome places. I would hop on a plane to get food. Cody says that. Now my reply would be, usually dudes say that they don't know fucking good Mexican food. But I believe Cody was in San Diego for some time, so he might very well.
El Azteca sounds legit. It's not like Adolf's Taco Shop in fucking... No, it was Adolf's Taco Shop in Chicago.
Was there a painting of a little dude with
I think a little Mexican. Stash? He had a sombrero on, but he had a little mustache and shit.
Like Kips, but with a fucking Hitler. What is that even called? The Hitler stash.
That's the Hitler stash, which is weird because it wasn't a... Like, he didn't invent it. That was like a military... Like, if you go by the Marine Corps regulation...
That's the mustache.
If you go by the Marine Corps regulation and you trim your mustache so you look like fucking Adolf Hitler, it's ridiculous.
But the Marine Corps doesn't enforce it because nowadays you look like Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Skully, what was your experience with hand-to-hand combat training in the Marines? Was it more advanced than average infantrymen?
No. Everybody's on the same... well, I take it back. So initially they had...
Line?
Yeah, they had the line training. So initially they had the line training. Then they went to...
Did you get a belt?
Not for line training. Line training was just kind of like... Monkey stomp and all that stupid shit. And then we
have Cheney come in here and do some... You know what? I'll bet Cheney does like... what's that Brazilian dance? Martial art? Could you see him doing that?
Yeah, shit? I could see him doing that. It's all pretty basic. Now they have McMap standards, and so there's these different belts you get, and these fucking ribbons and stupid. It's fucking dumb as shit. The reality is, if you take the entire military services, everybody, and you fucking put them together, and you go, okay, how important was this fucking kung fu training that we did? There's going to be 3 people that are going to go, I used it. 2 of them are going to go, out in town, and one of them's gonna go, oh, in actual combat I used it. I mean, it's useful. It's a useful knowledge. It's great to know grappling skills. If you really want to get into it, jiu-jitsu is probably the best way to go, especially if you're a little bit older, because you get into kickboxing, they're kicking you in the fucking head or whatever. I mean,
toughen your shins up.
Yeah, it's good to have a ground game. It's better to have a gun game, and outside of that, you can't
use the gun game out in town.
Why not? Here's the thing. I am old. I am not gonna get in a fucking fist fight with somebody. Remember, a fist fight is an escalation of the situation. I'm not gonna get in a fist fight with somebody. I'm too old. No matter what happens, win or lose, I'm going home with a fucking limp. I'm going home with a. It's just not. To get in a fucking fight is just ridiculous.
So don't go stupid places.
Yeah, don't go stupid places and do stupid people. There's a guy. God, you know him too. Used to hang out at SOE. I mean, used to hang out with Dwayne and all them. He's a knife fighter. Steve Tarani.
Yeah.
Steve Tarani does all the fucking.
All the SEAL team knife shit.
He's a ninja when it comes to blade works. I'm sure there are guys out there that are better or faster or whatever. But he will literally walk up to you and touch you 25 times with a knife before you blink. Like, he has fucking cut every one of your major arteries, and you're like, what? What did you just do? What happened, Steve? He's a ninja.
That's fucking Ed's manifesto, man. Have you looked at Ed's page? That's fucking it's all that shit, man. Like, you're dead. There's motherfuckers walking down, literally walking. Some chick walks by, dude walks by, and you're dead, and you're still walking. You just haven't fallen down yet.
You just haven't felt it. But Steve Tarani, he teaches all the. Anyways, he teaches a bunch of classes to a bunch of people that do stuff real all over the world, and like. His number one thing is if you are doing your due diligence, if you are doing your job correctly, you are never going to be in that situation. You're not going to be in a situation where you need to fight. You always need to be fucking and moving away from those situations. Because he'll tell you, all you have to do is get cut once. All you have to do is get a little shot. And there's a problem. Whereas if you can, if you can live your life, like, there is no reason for me to go to... I don't know, the barrio. There's no reason for me to go to the worst places in Memphis or the worst place. There's no reason for me to be put in those situations where...
Especially with your woman.
Yeah, that I'm going to fucking get in some sort of fucking ground tussle. I'm shooting, you know what? That gun's coming out. I'm shooting in the air. I'm shooting on the ground. I'm shooting everywhere. I don't care. So, it just...
I saw a picture of Dwayne the other day. I think it was at some Sniper Foundation thing.
Force Recon Foundation.
Fucking cleaned up good, man.
Yeah.
He looks a little big.
Yeah.
But he's the only one there dressed like fucking cleaned up. So when we threw out Ed's manifesto the other day, he actually shared it and said, "Hey, check these guys' podcast out."
It popped up on my
Did you see all those little fucking shit talkers in there?
Yeah.
Those fucking airsoft bitches.
Yeah.
How does a dude who legitimately teaches dudes that kill people, like, on the fucking regular, like killing motherfuckers like the plague, right? How these little cunts watch, like, holy fuck.
It's the anonymity of fucking the internet. That's all it is. It's these little. So I mean,
so do you remember the 1990s SEAL Gear fucking page where the little gay dude was in? I'm like, hey bro, sorry your chick left you. He's like, I'm a cocksucker. I suck dick for a living. And he, like, went off about how he's gay and did you just assume my gender kind of shit?
Yeah. Okay.
That dude is the dude that showed up on that fucking page talking all the shit.
People have real issues out there in the world, and it's because they don't have anything good in their life. Whether that's some good hard work or a good woman, and so because they don't have anything good in their life, they feel like they have to shit on other people. Get your shit together. But as far as all that ninja stuff goes, you had to qualify. So when we were doing, all through the years, I went through 4 different programs where you had to go out there and do fucking karate. I mean, there was one point where we were doing karate chops. It was crazy. And then they got to McNabb, and then they got to something else.
Did you ever shoot a revolver one-handed?
They did not. Oh man, yeah. You know what? The Marine Corps used to. They didn't teach it, but all the guys. So in the old days, all the guys were team shooters, and so the team shooters would always be like, you just put your thumb in your pocket, and like Bill Skiles, that motherfucker. Like, there are some legit dudes that can shoot some guns that it's just like, holy shit. How did you do that?
Did you ever shoot everybody? Did you ever shoot at each other with body armor?
No, never. No body armor. Remember? No body armor play.
Cops
not like that.
Do that.
The biggest thing, the thing that the Marines like to do was either hit you on the head with a shovel. Well, you had your helmet on, right? You clunk the shovel on you, or when you weren't paying attention, somebody would run and fucking kick you in the chest.
With your armor on?
Yeah, with your armor on.
Did you go to Crucible?
No, Crucible was after my time.
So Kelly McCann, Crucible, Phil went out there to Crucible, and they actually have a real live fucking biker bar with real live fucking bikers.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the knife fight.
Yeah, you're sitting there and you get. You are in a fucking biker bar and you get in fights with bikers, and that was when he came back from the advanced monkey stomp training.
Yeah, Phil was on the. Phil did all those. It was kind of funny because when Phil was doing that, all those schools were available, but I think it's because I had it too. It's complacency in your MOS in the sense of. So when Phil got to SOTG, he was just a regular infantry guy. Right, so they pulled him.
He came from Fast, didn't
he? Yeah, I think he came from Fast, but they actually pulled him from a infantry battalion and brought him there. Well, it's all Force Recon guys. I mean, those.
Well, like here you are, head CQB instructor.
Yeah, even the Force Recon, like even when I got there, the Force Recon guys were like, "Fucking, you're just a bullshit sniper. You don't matter." You know, even when I got there, they were doing that shit. So when Phil got there. I really felt sorry for
the dude that'll just kick you right off the fucking go plat while you're sleeping on the edge there.
When Phil got in there, I kind of felt sorry for him because, you know, at least I would go. I had a section. I would go to the sniper section and we would do sniper shit. He's like in the middle with all those guys, and I'm sure Phil won't say this, but I'm pretty sure they treated him like fucking shit. But man, any school, Phil would go to,
and then they fed him. And he started lifting weights, and they had nothing more to say.
Any school, Phil would be like, "What's up? What's on the plate?" And you know, I hate to say it, but those Force Recon guys were like, "Oh, BSR, what do we do? You just drive cars around? Nah, I don't want to go to that. Oh, we're gonna go to. You got a knife fighting school? Man, I don't want to go do." So Phil was getting some fucking schools,
real schools, yeah.
Yeah, real schools, and that I remember when he went to that knife fighting class because he was just like, because I don't know what martial arts we were doing at that time. It wasn't McMap. Something different. But when he came back from that school, he's like, "Man, all this shit we do is bullshit. this bullshit that don't work." Like like John said, they have an actual bar. They set up a real bar setting, and they'll like discotheque it up. You know, like have people dancing and real people in there drinking, and then one of the instructors will just come over and pick a fight with you, or 10 people will start a fight in there, and you got to fucking fight your way out of it.
When he came back, I remember we were going to the movies or something, and I'm standing in line like this. He's like, "Don't tuck your arms like that." I'm like, "Why? What do you mean?" He goes, "Have your dominant hand on top like this. Don't tuck them because you can strike like this." And he just fucking like wrapped me all up and shit. But like to this day, I remember him fucking saying that.
Yeah, Phil's a
he's still doing all that shit.
Yeah, he would actually be a good like case study because he did go from the fucking bottom rung of that group tier and went all the way to the top.
Started at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Drake.
Yeah. Started at the bottom, went all the way to the top.
Yeah. Was he ever on the Mickey Mouse show? Like Drake?
Phil might have been.
Three Musketeers.
Phil might have been.
Male model.
Yeah, he is a male model.
I'll bet he's looking.
He just got engaged to another girl. God, Phil.
Phil?
Every time
I thought Phil's not married now?
Not anymore. Every time I look at Phil's thing, he's getting engaged to a new girl.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He just had fucking new legs put in.
Yeah, I'm sure they're bionic.
He's already fucking out running and shit.
I'll bet they make those noises like Steve Austin. No.
I'll bet he's looking in a mirror right now.
Oh, you know he's looking in a mirror.
And you know he listens to these, so he's probably looking in the mirror while he just heard us say he's looking in the mirror.
Going, I think I need to get a smaller shirt.
I'm gonna have a couple more abs put in here.
Yeah, he's gonna have a couple more abs put in.
I'm not in California, but a displaced and proud Floridian. When I go home, I love it. Florida is on the up and up and makes me want to get out and enjoy some civilian life. My question is, if California broke up and made a free state in the face of the slave state, what would likely be the coast? Would you move back? Fuck no.
No, I would never go back to California.
I don't miss it. Like, it's not just nice here because it's free. It's fucking nice here. And I mean, think about it, even if California broke up, right? What we have here would cost fucking $10 million in California.
Yeah, I would. There's no, even if California,
and then you wouldn't own it
for whatever reason. There's just no. Here's the thing about California: no matter what the politics are going to be about California, it's going to be Elysium. So there will be, you know, a time in the not so distant future. I mean, it's already happening where normal people aren't going to be able to go to California. Oh, you might be able to swing through the Horton Plaza down in San Diego,
which is a shithole.
Which normal people aren't going to.
Fucking SWAT will be doing fucking force on force there in the next 2 years.
They consider. Think about this. In the San Francisco Bay Area, not San Francisco downtown, the San Francisco Bay Area, even in the suburbs, they consider $250,000 low-income housing. That's not going to get better. That's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse all throughout the state, where the only people that will be able to fucking enjoy California is lifestyles of the rich and shameless. And if you're middle of the road income, let's say you make $100,000 in California. You make $100,000 a year in California. And I guarantee you, if you really sit down and you go, how much of California am I really enjoying? It's going to be fucking really small. It's going to be really small. Because you can't get it. It's not like it's the fallacy of we're going to go to Disneyland, then we're going to go to the beach, then we're going to go to the mountains and ski. The fallacy is, you know, the fact that you're going to be in fucking traffic all day. You're not going to get to any of those places. And if you do get to one of them, you are going to be so fucking pissed off because you sat in traffic for 9 hours and get to those places and there's 900 people crammed in around you going, hey, it's only 2 more hours until we get on the Matterhorn. It's just, fuck California, man. It's just, they have destroyed that state.
Now. They have a fast pass.
Yeah, but even the fast pass motherfuckers are waiting now.
At Disneyland?
Yeah, because there's too many people, man. And it's $125 fucking dollars a person. How can anybody afford to go to Disneyland?
So when I come take Fighting Pistol, what Mexican food do you guys from SoCal, my treat? What Mexican food do you guys from SoCal, my treat, love the podcast, listen every day at work, and rewatch when I get home? So when I come take Fighting Pistol,
he's basically saying he's in California and he wants to bring us Mexican
you guys
food.
From SoCal. You gonna bring it, or you want us to go eat it with you?
Yeah, because
I don't eat in town here.
Yeah, it's not worth it here.
Literally, like when Chef came and worked here, I go out on the weekends to nice places, and frequently I'm like, man, this is some bullshit. This meal, this is $150 on the table here, and we eat snack every day that's fucking better than this. It's fucking weird. Spoiled. That's why I eat sushi every weekend. Sushi is literally the only thing I can go eat that I don't get here that's better.
That was Cody was talking about that today. He's like, oh, we're having ninja bacon, and
yeah,
Gabby was like, ninja bacon, what's? And he's like, oh, it's this thing, this place we always go to, and we get the ninja bacon, and he goes, but this is a lot better.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's insane, man. Fucking totally. I'll probably go to Saint Anejo for breakfast this weekend. They have chicken and waffles. They have
that's the Mexican place right next to Virago?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right next to it. Tequila, Secret Tequila. You've been there, haven't you?
I haven't been to. Well, I think we have eaten there once.
For
breakfast or something. Breakfast or brunch.
But they have a horchata French toast, and they have this apple tequila fucking syrup, and they got a breakfast burrito that's fucking amazing. A great fucking breakfast burrito, and then they have a pulled pork Benedict. It's man, it's fucking everything I've had there is fucking really good, and the atmosphere is cool, and they got really cool wallpaper. The fucking skulls on the wall.
Skulls on the wall.
Skulls. Heard you guys. Did you see my zebra head?
I did not see the zebra head. Oh, you did that? Is that what came today?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda's like, she's looking at all the foam.
She's like, what the fuck? The alien broke out of this thing.
She's looking at all the foam, and she's like, what the fuck did we get? I'm like, I don't know. I saw John kind of open the box, and then when I turned back around, there was just foam there, so I don't know what we got. And she's like, and then she goes, oh, I know what it is, and walked away. So I never got the, scoop.
She just fucking with you. She probably didn't know what it was. It's a zebra skull, which is a good size horse,
Yeah.
you know. It's pretty neat. But she painted it all white and then put zebra stripes on. It's fucking badass.
Yeah, that'll be
looking.
cool.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Man.
that'd be real cool. That didn't come from Russia, did it?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, this is a real zebra head. It came from Texas. There's a chick. If you're interested, if you have any interest in that shit, let me know and I'll give you her Instagram page. I don't know it off the top of my head, but she is an amazing taxidermist. If you guys have some taxidermy that's in your family and like a dog chewed its ear off or something ate the nose off your grandpa's polar bear rug, she can reproduce that shit and fix it. Holy shit. Like there's some before and after photos of just like taxidermy that's been in the sun for fucking 100 years, you know. Man, she is a wizard with that shit. She is so fucking good. Like I would almost buy like old because like there's a lot of stuff you just can't get anymore.
Right.
But if you have you can buy it cheap because it's damaged. Man, she can fucking fix that shit.
Cool.
They are 3D printing shit. Like John had my buddy had I don't remember where it came from, out of some estate. He had a Bengal tiger rug, and it was missing all the claws. So he had these claws 3D printed, dude. Like you couldn't tell they weren't fucking real. He sold it to the Field and Stream store. They bought it, and like, dude, he made his money like 20 times over on that motherfucker. It's pretty cool. So, in reference to John's comment, heard you guys talking about coffee. So, when I come take fighting... Okay, heard you guys talking about coffee. My favorite shit is Cafe Bustelo in the yellow can, vacuum-sealed brick. It's dirt cheap, strong espresso. I've been drinking it so much, I get headaches when I just have regular coffee and not espresso. It's also really good iced down with some coffee mate creamer. We have an espresso machine.
Espresso machine.
And it is fucking ruined drinking coffee. Like
Jay Jones.
Yeah, Jay Jones hooked us up with this thing. These Nescafe little pods. Has a barcode on it. So each one, it fucking sets it to the temperature, frosts it, puts the right amount of water in it. And it's super convenient, man. And the coffee's really good. And then it's got a cream frother that it came with. There's times like we go to Starbucks on the weekends and I don't even get a fucking coffee at Starbucks. I go to Starbucks. I'll literally go to Starbucks just to get a cup. I want that fucking cup of water, that water cup to use for the rest of
the week. Yeah.
I've got enough right now. Heard you guys talking about coffee in reference to John's comment about having your DeWalt batteries charged. I use DeWalt 20-volt tools every day in my trade. Love seeing a row of chargers lined up with full battery life. It's all about being able to stay working and not be hindered by dead batteries. So Murgatroyd, being that you use those in work, can we just leave them on the charger and the charger will auto condition them? Or at some point do we need to take them off? I mean, with lithium polymer batteries, there's no concern of like memory or anything anymore, right? And these are all LiPo batteries now.
In theory, yeah.
Plus, they look like it bothers me. Like all my batteries and shit are in the back room. It's pretty impressive. Like when you walk in a garage and everything's fucking lined up, and there's all the shit's there. In reference to John's comment, we just did that one, guys. Just hear my crazy talking points. Recently, a human embryo was discovered being smuggled into India from use in an Indian clinic. For the use in an Indian clinic. Tying this together with what John said earlier about Americans surpassing China as the #1 in the world for organ transplants in the past project, Veritas investigation into Planned Parenthood. It makes you wonder what kind of organ human tissue smuggling is going on inside of the U.S. and the rest of the world. I think a lot of that goes back to the Pizzagate shit. When they run through those girls and use those kids up, the body is worth. And just like the late term abortion thing, a fetus is worth $50,000. But if you grow it out and that baby becomes 6 weeks old, it's worth $500,000.
Just because of the amount of organs, yeah.
Going a bit further with my own speculation, and not only that, if that is no longer considered a human, and they just lobotomize it or run a fucking rod through its head or whatever and keep it on life support, just, IV, it'll still grow. There's plenty of comatose people who have grown. The organs will still grow. And then at what point are they viable to go into humans?
Hell, they just had that place where the lady was in a coma and she had a baby.
Yeah, there's many of those. There's a lot of those stories. Going a bit further, my own speculations, the Republican Party seems very complicit with not defunding Planned Parenthood. Of course not. Even though they said they would multiple times. They're all, because they all get paid by the same place. They're actors. It's all a show. It's a puppet show. I would not be surprised if the harvesting of babies is what's keeping both sides of the political aisle alive, since most senators are as old as the hills. Just a crazy thought I had. Some love the podcast. Please keep going. Please keep it going. I wear my EDC belt every day. Thanks for wearing the EDC belt. Thanks for choosing us. I'm reading absolutely terrible today.
They have all those people are as old as the hills because they have better medical than us, than the rest of the free world. Plus,
and lizard people can just shift bodies.
Yeah. Plus, you know, like there was actually a recent whatever facility there in Washington D.C. that actually was leaking the pills that people are actually taking, and Nancy Pelosi, for one of them, was. She's taking medication for Alzheimer's. So they have things better available to them to keep them around longer than normal people. But when you say that about think about this, when you say that about somebody was just caught sneaking in a fetus. Somebody was just caught sneaking in a fetus. When I was a younger lad, I had this girlfriend who lived up the street from me. I was in love with her. And I was sneaking out of my house every night to go see her. And we were keeping track. We had a little tally going. I had snuck out up to her house 93 times before I got caught.
And then when you fuck her, do you put a little S on the calendar those nights?
No, those are the only nights we were keeping track of. But I had gone over there 93 times before I got caught. And the interesting thing is when people catch you doing something wrong, we automatically assume that, we caught you.
Yeah, that's the one they caught.
You've only done it one time, so yeah, that's probably just the one they caught. And a lot of times, you know, especially on the southern border, the southern border is really, really excellent, really good at fucking. They're really good at making you think you caught them when you really didn't catch them. Like, you know, oh, the biggest marijuana bust on the West Coast, and it'll be, you know, 400 pounds of marijuana. But all the cocaine came in behind that. Or all that marijuana was actually fucked up because somebody spilled diesel fuel on it. Or all kinds of, they're really good at getting around that. So whenever you see something like that about one person getting caught, then you have to assume that it's very rare that somebody thinks something, it's very rare that somebody thinks something up and they get caught the first time. It does happen, but it's very rare.
It's like them dudes, that makes me think of it like, they bust some dude, he had 2 guns and 1,000 rounds of ammunition.
Yeah, an arsenal.
Motherfucker, like, they're bringing in tanker ships. Tanker ships. The biggest ships in the fucking world. They're not bringing in containers of ammo. They're bringing in tanker ships of ammo.
Yeah, there was a recent thing about we
got a buddy that brokered 2 of those fucking deals.
There was a recent article about ammunition in the United States, and they were talking about IMI, which is an Israeli company.
Uzi.
Yeah. And IMI makes military ammunition. So they make 9mm, 7.62, 5.56.
And some bigger things.
And there were 2 ships that came into Louisiana that had more ammunition on them than the requirement for, I think it was
the Army.
No, it wasn't the Army. It was like the National Guard's allocation of ammunition for an entire year. And the crux of the story was, well, who's buying this ammunition if it's not going to the army?
Uh-huh.
And people just don't. It's one of those things that like
Uzi ammo was always good too. It's
Yeah.
fucking hot ammo.
it's one of those things that if you're not in the know, like who's that?
I blew up 2 Tauruses with that subgun.
Yeah,
ammo.
you will. You'll
Fucking
blow up.
blew the locking block in 3 pieces.
If you're not in the know, and I tell you 10,000 rounds, if I tell you, oh man, 10,000 rounds,
We were shooting 10,000.
That's not a lot of
We
ammunition.
were shooting that in a month.
yeah, that's not a lot of ammunition. In the real world, it's not a lot of ammunition. So
And actually, we weren't just out spraying it. I mean, we were actually ting,
Yeah.
ting, 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 ting,
Shooting
ting, ting,
it. And then your thing about Oregon,
donors.
Oregon donors and shit like that. You can look this up.
They're not organ donors. Those are organ Those are organ growers.
You can look this up. John actually said this to me about, I don't know, probably 6 months. He's always, John goes deep. He goes deep into the fucking thing about people drinking blood and shit like that. And I'm like, whatever. Nobody's drinking blood.
Cedar-chrome.
Yeah. The CDC, our CDC actually came out with a notice that says there is no health benefits whatsoever of drinking younger. How did they say it?
Juvenile blood.
Yeah, it was like
human
younger juvenile blood, because
blood.
there are some people out there that believe if they
Hillary Clinton.
I don't want to say drink, because they probably don't drink it. They're probably going blood to blood.
There has to be extreme fear. They literally peel the skin off of live children is how the stories go. And it's not one story. There's fucking thousands of these stories. And they peel the skin and start cutting the people alive, and it releases the fear, releases something into the blood, and then they use the blood. Is how that goes.
Yeah, kind of interesting that the CDC came out and said that, and it's funny. There's
some truth in everything.
Yeah,
every conspiracy.
So when John says that about, okay, it releases something in the blood, and that gives you a better high, whatever, if you drink that blood. Now, not even having to do with people, there is a lot of, I don't want to say, it's not really scientific fact, but there's a lot of, in the food industry, they talk about if the animal is very calm, if you calm the animal down.
Well, it's like roadkill because the testosterone release.
And you fucking, pet the animal before you slice its throat, it's going to be much tender. It's going to taste a lot better. And I know there's actually a fucking restaurant in Russia that you can go to that has a barnyard in the center of the fucking, there's a barnyard in the center of the thing, and you can be like, I think I'm going to have lamb tonight, and they will let you go out there and pet the fucking thing and give it a carrot while the dude fucking cuts its throat. So
there's supposed to be places like that also where there's fucking human, like Hostel. Yeah. There's some videos out there that say Hostel, those Hostel things, that's all real shit. If you look at where's the head of the UN at?
Well, it's in New York City.
What
headquarters?
Where else is it? Big place down foreign
in Brussels, probably?
Brussels. So they have these huge skyscrapers in Brussels. If you look at the UN building in Brussels, there is a painting painted on the whole side of the building that is a female child hung upside down by her feet being dismembered. Her throat is cut. She's slitting. Her throat's been cut and she's bleeding out, and her intestines and her inner guts are hanging out of her body. They painted that on the side of the building for everybody to fucking see. There's hundreds of things like that surrounding that. It's crazy. They say that shit is all fucking real. Every fucking bit of that stuff. And who's they? I mean, you don't know, but there's a lot of it out there. Temecula. Were you riding dirt bikes out there? Yes, we were. A lot. We actually rode with a bunch of the militia guys. You're thinking of Deegan. Deegan's house was right there. They called it the militia compound. My boy Shannon's house was about 3 blocks from there. We rode Paris, Dianza, Temecula. We rode everywhere up there. Where Twitch and Scummy filmed riding all the 50s. We were out there all the time. We were riding with those guys. Rode with Jeff Emig. They filmed Crusty Demons of Dirt. Some of that was filmed out in Tirasana, literally 10 minutes from my house. 905.
Man, all those places.
Not Dumont. man, all those places. And there's dudes doing videos right now sneaking out there.
It's crazy though. Most of those places,
gone.
They're just, you can't ride there anymore. There's houses there.
Yeah, 100%.
Just fucking houses.
100%. So, fast forward, you grow up, like, we can do all that shit right here. We've got fucking big jumps. When I left San Diego, I left 3 ramps in San Diego. Man, I left so much shit there. I'm like, I'm just going to live a different life. When I got out of prison, I never kind of, like, I went riding when I got out of prison. I went riding with Shannon. And I was fucking killing it. Like, I was hitting shit so fucking, I was, like, hitting shit like fucking videos, like crazy. And then something happened. And I don't really know what happened. I'd hit this jump fucking 20, 30 times, and it just kicked me. And I landed on my fucking head, like my helmet. When I got up, I thought I broke my neck. When I stood up, my shoulder stopped my head from going any further in the ground. There was an impression of my helmet. And I was sore. The bike wasn't fucked up. I had bought Shannon, before I went to prison, I had bought Shannon one of Dave Dominguez's CR250s. Dave was a freestyle dude. You see him on my live feeds. If you guys want to buy a house in San Diego, fucking Diamond Dave's your dude. If you want to do any real estate in San Diego, Dave's your dude. Super proud to say that, like, I watched that guy, you know, grow up. So I had one of his bikes. When I came home, Shannon had a couple bikes, and he still had that bike. So Shannon gave me that motorcycle back. And that's the bike I crashed on. And we were at... Fuck, they filmed all of Travis Pastrana's shit when he was a little kid riding with the militia out there. I can't remember the name of it. It was totally fucking locked down, off limits, nothing out. It's huge hits. I mean fucking huge hits. Like 120-foot gap shit. Big, big stuff. And we're out there riding, and when I crashed, I got back on, but I never fucking had it after that. I'm like, I don't have any medical insurance. I'm a little bit older now.
People, yeah.
And I just kind of toned down. Like, I had bikes. I was still riding a little bit. But when we left San Diego, I didn't bring any ramps. Like, I intentionally didn't bring any ramps with me. I brought a lot of motorcycles with me. But I never got back on a bike like that. And then when I got the Razors and stuff, Cody growing up, like, we had bikes. We'd go riding. We'd go hit some shit. You know, it was cool. But when we got the Razors, man, the first time we crashed the Razor, like, it would have, if you'd have had a crash on a motorcycle like we crashed this Razor, it would have killed you. Like, I say that all the time. You hear with age comes the cage. And I always said, you know, I'm going to ride a dirt bike until I fucking literally can't walk, or until I am too old, like I physically cannot. I'm not riding a four-wheeler. Razors didn't even exist back there in that day. Some of the, like, Yamaha had come out with something kind of like the Razor, but, like, Polaris didn't have shit. Nothing was really out there, the Rangers and stuff. But when we hit this jump probably 30 times, and we literally come, we're in the sand pits, and we come and just berm out, and we had hit this so many times that it actually shot the sand out and made a berm. So I'm coming up and literally under power, sliding through and hitting this tree, like this big fucking pine tree. We were using that as part of the berm, and it would kind of put me in line to hit where these Jeeps had come across, and it was a Jeep trail. And the jump was probably about this tall, right? First time I'd ever had we just bought the XP1000 two-seater. First time we'd ever had it out. And we're hitting this thing, skying it, fucking getting footage, video. Hicks is out there taking, just like killer. When I saw the video, I'm like, holy shit. These are fucking rad. And then something happened. I had come through, hit this, and we'd hit it so many times that it kind of swapped the sand out. And made some whoops through there. And I came through, and I just caught it. I was just real confident hitting it. I mean, I gave it everything the car had. And I'd hit that little something, like, as I'm coming in, it kind of kicked me a little. And I didn't hit the straight part. I kind of came to the side, and there's a hump that's about 12 inches up. And we hit that hump, and I just remember the car starting to barrel roll. It barrel rolled, landed front end down, like, I mean straight down, and then flipped end over end 3 times. And I remember like it's in slow motion. And we had helmets on. I'm like, and I told Cody, I'm like, you have to hold on to this bar. If you crash, it will rip your arm off or break your arm off. So that's what those grab bars are all for. Like if you're ever off-roading and like you're in a truck or something, don't ever be holding outside the car. Like it will rip your arm off. There's a lot of videos out there of that shit happening. So I remember I'm like, hold on. Like while we're upside down, I'm like, are you okay? And we hit, boom! And then we flipped up, all the way up. The car came completely off the ground again. I'm like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm like, keep your hands inside. Just hold on. Boom, boom. And we landed. And the car was upside down. So we get out. I'm like, you're going to have to unbuckle. You're going to fall a little bit. So we unbuckle. We get out. I'm like, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, good. I'm okay too. We're looking at the car. The front wheel is literally, well, it's laying off the car like 10 feet away, but it's in 3 pieces. Like part of the wheel's over there. Part of it's over here. The radiator literally was in 2 fucking pieces outside of the car. Like, not like broke, like in half. And I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get this back up on the
Can we rebuild it?
We actually started the car and drove it with 3 wheels. It had no wheel. It wasn't even on the car. Radiator busted in half. Backed it up to the trailer. And I guess I'm probably in shock, right? I'm like, I don't know how we're going to get this on the trailer. I have no idea how we're going to get it. Hicks is like, turn it around, put it in, just fucking, we drove it up there. We drove that. I mean, you saw us. We had another one with 3 wheels on it that we drove up on a trailer too. So, those cars, like, you can walk away from that shit. Especially with a real cage, real harnesses, real seats, helmet. You have an accident like that on a dirt bike, man, it's a fucking helicopter ride. Like you're not walking out of there. I've been there for some really bad ones. Luckily they didn't happen to me. Shannon broke a tib fib, broke his fucking leg. He landed, and another one like off Crusty Demons. He's hitting this fucking huge jump out at Akatia at pole line. And like if you look at these things, you're like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. There's no fucking jump there. It's like a straight fucking wall. And there's no landing because it's a 3rd, 4th gear hit, and you're hitting this bitch, flipping sideways, kicking it in the air, and landing on another fucking hill. And man, he'd done it a bunch of times. I'd watched him do it, filmed him doing it. We had all the cameras out there, like we were filming, Crusty Demons kind of shit. We were making videos and stuff, and he just hit this thing, fucking a gust of air fucking hit him. It was dead still. And he's up in the air, and the air hit him. And man, when he hit the ground, I was probably 20 feet away from where his bike landed, and it didn't even look bad. But when he would land, I heard his fucking leg break, and you could feel that fucking just through the fucking desert earth, man. It was fucking crazy. We had some footage. We had that song, Ragdoll. He'd hit it's another one. Like I used to hit that one, and you'd shoot straight up. And then you'd kind of just land, And for some reason, the hit's probably 30, 40 feet. And he's up 20 feet above the earth, above the top of the cliff. And he throws the bike away. And it's one of the first times, like the first video we make. And I just slowed it down slow. And he's like trying to flap. And he hits the ground. And it's so powdery up top. His body just crumples. And you don't see Shannon. Like, all you see is just the dust kick up. And, like, by then you're just fucking running. Is he alive?
Is he alive? That's it.
So, yeah, that we were riding out Temecula. I noticed my nieces and nephews go straight for the iPad every chance they get. I have to make a conscious effort to do that. Like, and two, like, when you're standing around with dudes and you pick the phone up, I'm always doing that. But really what that says is what you're saying to me is not important as what I'm looking at here. So I try to make a conscious effort to just put that away. And then in the mornings, I try to go an hour without even touching it. Like I don't even look at the notifications for an hour in the morning. And it definitely changes your day. And you find too that, because like I'm always looking at the oddities groups, right? Because when I don't look at the oddities groups and then I look at it at night, I'm like, holy shit, there's a real dragon they slayed, and that somebody bought it, and I didn't get a chance to get it, that kind of shit. You'll find it's not as important to you. As you get away from it, you will kind of change something in your head will kind of rewire.
As a tool for kids, it's fucking genius. I mean, the reality is
it's a babysitter.
It is a babysitter, but I mean, if you use it if you use it as a tool,
they won't though. If you
all the information in the world is right here. Like, you want to be a brain surgeon? There's a fucking video. There's an app. There's everything you want. So it's how you regulate it. You have to fucking be on top of it. You have to regulate it. The reason why kids are fucking drawn to that, because we're fucking helicopter parenting by giving it to them and letting them play a game while fucking dinner's coming. If you fucking if they never saw if the only time they saw the iPad was Wikipedia or some other learning thing, then they wouldn't be running directly to that fucking iPad.
Keep in mind, they're smarter than you.
Yeah, they are smarter, but it's up to you.
When you give them that, and they're like, "Can I look at puppies, or can I, look up whatever?" That's like, that'd be Sebastian. I'm like, yeah, you can look at knife making, you can look at 550 cord. But when you go through the history, you find out he's looking at how to make a grill and Little Yachty and just all kinds of other shit. Naked Cleopatra was one he pulled.
Naked Cleopatra.
Our daughter, Dakota, that was the same thing. We'd give her the iPad. Come to find out, she had installed an app on the iPad which gave her a local phone number, and she was texting fucking adult dudes, like when she was 15 years old. So do your due diligence. Like, you got to keep in mind, like, Cody's little brother Alex got in trouble. He had actually put an app on his mom's phone, so he actually knew where she was at all times. So he would have people in the house, smoking weed. There were some kids having sex in the house and shit, in mom's room, I believe, and he would shoo them off about 10 minutes before she got home. I don't know how they finally caught, but she found this app on her phone. I go, Jen, he's fucking, they're smarter than we are. Because we're not looking for that. We're not having to do, sneak around and hide shit. And just be aware, like with the electronics, there's an advancement all the time that you are not aware of. Temecula, I noticed my nieces and nephews. I had something called imagination when I was a kid. I lost it over the years, but I remember being able to make sticks and toys come to life. Building forts in the woods and pushing my big wheel from the steepest hill. I had to touch the stove and then touch it again to make sure it was hot. I don't think they even scraped their knees. Yeah, it's just like getting shocked. Most kids have been shocked more than once. I've been shocked a few times. I've had several burns on my hands. 100%, man. We used to go out on BMX bikes and build ramps out in the street. And then we would build them downhill so you'd go further. And then we were jumping over 55-gallon trash cans. And then we'd pile up 3 and 4 55-gallon trash cans. And then you'd throw a dead cat out there and you'd have to jump over the dead cat and the trash cans. Fuck, kids aren't doing that shit anymore. We were on rickety-ass fucking bicycles. I remember going down the street and doing kickouts and shit and swapped out too much and fucking crashed and busted my chin open. Had to get stitches, wake up on the couch. And I had just I'd never seen a Gander Mountain catalog before. And I'm like, where'd this come from, Mom? This thing's awesome. She's like, that's the 100th time you've asked me that. Because I had a concussion. Like, I'd fucking lost the memory. I vaguely remember the crash. I was showing off for this girl named Stacy, and I crashed and ate shit. You know who didn't come see me while I was fucked up or in the hospital? Stacy didn't come fucking see me.
He's never going to be famous. He crashed.
Nice Plague Dr. Mask. Something about them has always interested me. Yeah, me too, man. Fuck, I'm kicking myself for procrastinating. I went to finally buy a 308 rig, and now they're out of them. Dude, when we say that, like, I'm not gaming that. I don't say that to make you guys buy them. When we post that stuff up,
you got to get on it.
You got to get them, man. And we always build extras. Like, I always build more than I think I can sell in a day, and we fucking still sell them in a day.
Yeah.
Your best bet's just to watch the live feeds, because you can really see what's sitting here. And a lot of times, a lot of that shit won't make it online all the way, or I'll kind of keep it in reserve. If we have 24 of them, I'll only put 22 online, because guys will come in and we're in a hurry and we're dealing with literally like 20 people in the shop and something won't get taken offline. So to cover our ass, I always have a few that aren't sometimes. And then like a month later, you'll be like, hey, I saw a NSW rig and it's not online. Well, that explains why it's still sitting here. You know, that kind of shit. So, same with me. I live in Martinsville, Virginia. It's probably a lot like Camden. We have a Walmart and a NASCAR track with 2 races a year, which probably close to double the population of the county from the race end. So we have a Walmart and a dirt track. It doesn't double it. You know what really does? We have a horse arena. And there's a lot of fucking money that comes in for those horse things. And it's not an indoor arena, it's just an outdoor roping ring. But God, man, you look at those rigs and trailers there and the fucking horses that come in. Doubles the population, race fans. On the other hand, I was born outside D.C. in Montgomery County, Maryland, which is probably the size of L.A. County. I'm 35 years old, and when I go back to visit family up there, it has changed so much, I hate it. 4 or 5 lanes of gridlock, traffic both ways. So many. Do you have 8-lane highways in San Diego now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Both directions.
Yeah.
Travel both ways. So many people, you can't breathe. It gives you anxiety. People living pretty much on top of each other. Now I live on 10 acres in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I love the county. I love the country. Would never move back to a shithole metropolis.
Nope.
Metropolitan area. Sorry for long post. That's how we are.
Yeah.
Where's the Blue Ridge? Isn't that in Tennessee too?
I think Blue Ridge crosses in between. It's one of those things where you can be in a different state and be on the Blue Ridge Mountain.
Do you think you guys will ever retire?
From what?
I'm not retiring.
This guy is never going to retire. He will never fucking retire. They will find his skeleton sewing out here on the fucking sewing machine. He's never going to retire.
Never commented before, but have been buying and listening for years. Probably not your best customer, but your gear is on point and awesome. Been buying since your Oceanside days. Blue Badger 83. Just recently went to a Pat Mac Taps pistol course, like maybe a month ago. Could not be happier. Not only is the training top notch, but being able to hang out with him and his wife and have some beers with the man after was even better. Life lesson and good medals. He is 100% like he is on the videos and should be an inspiration to all got my fat ass back into the gym. Whether he know it or not is indifferent. Him and his wife were open arms and totally metal. The people that would talk down to this man on Joe Rogan are complete and utter shitbags. Listening to your podcast after hanging with this guy has me fucking wild. These people, probably mostly guys, couldn't handle pussy if it was put into their face and their worthless parents explained and helped them try to fuck it. Christ. Anyway, great podcast, great gear. Get up and be something. So, if you go to Pat's class, a lot of dudes will take the class, and then after class, they will do the Pat Mat workout.
Pat Mat workout.
And that is fucking insane.
Whatever's available. Whatever's available. He likes doing those...
Cinder blocks,
like gorilla, be more like gorilla workout. We're just gonna pull this telephone pole down and we're gonna do bench press with it.
That's Jay Gibson though.
Yeah.
That's fucking Jay 100%.
The thing about Pat is kind of the thing about anybody that's at a certain level. So any of the Delta guys, any of your fucking red cell dudes, when you meet them, or not when you meet them, I guess I would say, if you're a casual meeting, they have a certain amount. They have a built-in certain amount of confidence because of what they've done their whole lives. So there's a level of confidence there that they already know the answer. So, you know, they're taking steps forward. They're taking steps forward in their life. They already know the steps they're taking, and that sometimes can be construed as arrogance, and that's what people will attack because that's what they think they're seeing. Even though,
it's because
I don't know any of those guys that are like that.
It's not even that. It's because those dudes are doing what the other guys are fucking talking about and not doing.
But I mean, if
it makes them look bad.
If you meet any of those guys, you know, Larry Vickers, fucking Pat Mack, I mean, you meet any of them, you will, if you truly meet them and have an opportunity to have a social engagement, you're not going to leave going, he's just an arrogant asshole. You're going to be like, holy shit, that guy really's got his shit together and he knows where he's going. And you know, Mac, when he got out of the Army, when he decided to get out of the Army, for a lot of the same reasons that a lot of guys do, when he finally decided to get out of the Army, he fucking crashed. He fucking had a hard time adjusting to the real world.
Him and his wife split up.
Yep.
He was living in the garage. He was drinking, suicidal. Well, I mean, you guys heard it.
You gotta know the story.
Fucking story.
You know, he's a. I mean, you know, I can't say. When you're talking about guys at that level, people are intimidated by. I would say professionals. I mean, you're really intimidated by professionals. You know, when I went to BSR. At BSR, they have real race car drivers there. So there's real race car drivers there. They put you in a car with a race car driver. The race car driver in your car is like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Are you hanging out with your girlfriend? Has your girlfriend got big tits? And you're supposed to be driving on this racetrack, right? And you feel like...
Where there's shit you can run into.
Yeah, you feel like you have the pedal all the way down on the ground. You're like, pedal all the way down the ground, and you're fucking turning, you're like, and he's asking you all these dumb questions to really calm you down so you can fucking focus on driving. And then you look in your fucking rear view mirror and there is a car exactly like your car behind you getting closer and closer and closer until he's right behind you going on your back bumper. And your race car driver will go, your car goes just as fast. Your car goes just as fast as that car. There's no reason why you should have caught up to you. You know, that's that professional. You have somebody who really knows what they're doing on that racetrack versus somebody who doesn't. And there's an intimidation to that. So, I mean, that's kind of my thing with those guys. People just get intimidated because of the level of proficiency they have. You know, like fucking Larry Vickers, he can eat all the goddamn... He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's shot more,
man.
He shot more goddamn ammunition than the U.S. Navy. You know what I'm saying? These guys they can do whatever they want, really.
So my car, I have a car.
You have a car?
I have a car story. So we went to Vegas. There's a couple tracks where you can.
Oh yeah. Huh?
Well, one of them is actually a Ferrari school, right? So you can go out and do race tune, race prep, fucking Ferraris and drive these things, and then you can like qualify and actually go race, right? So I go out and I'm in a 430 Scuderia, and you start out and it's straight, and then it's immediately a fucking 90-degree left-hand turn. So they're like, okay, gas, upshift, gas all the way. So you're and then he's like, brake, more, all the brake, and you're holding on. And you're on the like I am standing on the brakes.
Yeah.
And the car, the 430, because of the way the suspension is in the back of it, it kind of chatters. When you get in a 458, the suspension is different. It shifts it shifts quicker, stops faster, and it doesn't do that chatter shit. But that's just it, man. You're out there with these dudes, and like, there's probably 10 people on the track, right? And I passed some people. I passed Amanda a lot. And here comes a Porsche Cayenne, the minivan. And you're 10 laps into this motherfucker, and like I drove fucking 50 laps out there. At about 20 laps, you're like, hey man, can we just slow down? Like, I just want to drive this car. I'm gonna buy one of these. I don't give a fuck about running this on the track. I want to know where the turn signals are, where the fucking washer fluid is. But like so I know the track. I'm ready. Like, I know where my shift points are. I know what I'm doing. And then you get out there driving, and this dude in a fucking minivan fucking blows past you. Like, you're pretty confident. You're going fast.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's the same way. Yeah.
Nope.
That's the same way BSR was.
Yep. A lesser car fucking blew past you.
It's funny, the guy that I can't remember his genre, but the guy that was in my car that was with us, our group, did real racing all over the world for years, and then this is his retirement gig. But the most excited he got was when we got a flat tire. We got a flat because we're doing forward and reverse 180s, and you're gonna burn your tire out. So we got a flat tire. Oh man, he got so excited because initially he got out of the car. You know, he just gets out of the car. They'll show you how to do it a couple times, and he gets out of the car and he's standing on the side of the road.
So is that a J turn?
Yeah, and he's like, okay, go ahead and practice it a bunch of times, and then so we get a flat tire. His eyes get all big, and he's like, "Been waiting for this all day." Gets on his radio, and he's like, "We got one," and he's like, "As fast as you can, drive back to the start point." And I'm like, we got a flat tire. And so we fucking, you blow all the rubber off the tire. So now you got a fucking sparker on one side.
Which will really fuck your car up.
Yeah, we got a sparker on one side. But when you get there in the morning, the place is empty. There's
Were you guys in Crown Vics? Or what?
Yeah, we're in Crown Vics. When you get there in the morning, the place is empty. It seems like the whole time I was there, it seemed like there was like 3 guys working. But man, when we came around that corner by the garage, there was a whole pit crew there. In and out in like 30 seconds. They just fucking did the whole thing like we were on a racetrack, and he's like, "Hit it!" And it was pretty awesome. But that was his most exciting thing. Was he goes, "I love going into the pit."
There's a place called Rent and Roll, and these dudes will go in and rent wheels and tires, right, to jack up their rides. Well, most of these dudes, their monthly payments, you're literally renting this shit like Rent-A-Center.
Yeah.
Well, they always don't pay. So they actually have a fucking full-blown NASCAR fucking pit team that goes out, puts your shit on blocks, and fucking they have videos of them doing it, like a minute, in and out, all 4 wheels, and leave your shit on blocks. There's some YouTube videos of it. I don't know if they're still out there, but it's funny to watch a couple of them. Skully, if you got an Abrams tank, what ass-kicking name would you paint on the barrel?
I'd have to think about that.
Also, you were talking about the Flying Tigers. I love seeing the artwork they used to put on the old World War II aircraft. Cartoon characters or girlfriends, pictures of their tits out riding a bomb or something were great. Basically, tattoos for equipment. So I have a couple airplane props, and we're gonna actually put some bomber nose art on the tips of some of those props. Carrie is building a piece that actually stands off the wall, because I want to be able to, I don't have a lot of wall space, so the wall space I have is a premium, so they're going to build a standoff with a bearing so you can actually spin the prop. That way I can still have fucking paintings or something on the wall, but we're going to paint up those props. I've got 2 of them.
The interesting thing about plane art that goes on an aircraft, you can tell how bad a conflict is based off the artwork on the aircraft. The more artwork that is going on aircraft, the more airmen are being killed. The less artwork, the less airmen are being killed. It's one of those things that if you're just getting guys to go up in a plane, so if you're getting guys to get up in a plane and go do something that they know there's a really good chance that they're going to die, you're just happy they're getting in the plane. You don't care how many titties they put on the side of the plane. If they're not really getting...
Oh, because they're not regulating.
Yeah. If they're not really getting killed, then the base colonel is out there going, "Hey man, you got too many titties on your plane. You need to get those off of there." So you can tell how dangerous it is for air crews. You can tell how dangerous it is for air crews by the amount of artwork that is on their plane. And I'll tell you what, if you want to see, the interesting thing about World War II is the amount of airmen that we lost in World War II. It's the same thing with the Navy. Like World War II, if you were in the Navy, man, you had balls this fucking big. Same thing with fucking any of those air crews that were flying into Europe. The British learned right off the bat. They're like, if you fly aircraft over Europe in fucking broad daylight, 50% of your crews are not coming back. Like they were like, we know this. So if you look at all the British stuff, all the British raids that were going in there, they were doing it all at night. Now the problem was they weren't hitting shit because they didn't have fucking night vision, nothing. They would just fly on a fucking heading. They would get to where they think there was something. They would drop their bombs, turn around, and go back. America, we decided, no, we have to be strategic about our bombing, and we have to actually hit targets. So we were doing daylight bombings, and we were losing fucking 50% of the crews. It's kind of the reason why when, you know, they always talk about 23 missions. You only got to fly 23 missions. And if you think about that, that's
you
just...
won't ever make it to 24.
That's just 20... That's really only 20 days in the air. If you can get 23 missions, your war is over. Well, nobody was making it to 23 missions. They had to put that carrot out there. They threw that carrot out there, so guys were like, "Oh man, we only got to do 5 more missions," and they would still get in their fucking planes. But nobody was making it to 23 missions. It's why the Enola Gay thing was such a big deal, because nobody was making it. They were all fucking getting shot down and blown out of the fucking sky. The guys that were flying those fucking B-17s over Europe, man, balls this fucking big, because the Germans had already taken our fucking B-17 completely apart, figured out where all the weaknesses was, and man, they were fucking taking those bitches out of the sky left and right. So, I mean, you can tell, if you look at conflict, just the artwork on the plane will tell you how many fucking, you know, is it really dangerous? Are they really, is the commands policing that shit up? Or are they just kind of turning and looking away because, you know, we're just happy that these guys are still getting in these fucking airplanes.
When the war first kicked off, 2000s, remember those stickers we had, the white and black ones? So we were giving those out like they were water. I'm like, here's some of these, put them on lockers, put them on cop cars, put them on stop signs, put them on bombs, put them on airplanes, put them up, we will give you more. Man, we were getting photos back left and right of those on fucking drop tanks, on fucking bombs. I mean, if it blew up and shot out of something, there was a fucking sticker on it, man. We had some cool photos. Skully, that's the same one. What up, John and Skully? My blood pressure is up. Episode 62, constitutional carry should be in the entire USA. We shouldn't have to get permission to exercise a constitutional right. I also think convicted felon for life is bullshit. You do your time, all your rights should be reinstated automatically. Skully, did you say 20 volt for DeWalt chainsaw or 40? It's 40, not 60 is what you said, because the new one's 60. And yours is 40.
Yeah, I think mine's a 40 volt. I'm pretty sure. I would go with the 40 volt.
And then all that other shit out there's 20 or...
Yeah, that's right. All the other stuff's 20. 40 volt. Go with the 40 volt. It's the big square battery. They have a whole line of tools. So you got a hedge trimmer, a fucking weed whacker, a blower. They all use the same battery. So if you buy them all, you're going to have 4 batteries on the rack. I use them all the time. Man, I was out using the chainsaw this weekend. So about the convicted felon thing. Most convicted felons can actually get their rights restored. Because mine was federal and because it was one on top of another. 14 years apart, granted. That is where the issue is because of the more than one, and then it being federal, that changes shit. And even dudes that get their shit restored on a state charge, feds still override that. Like, if they want to grab you, they will just come fucking grab you, whether you have your rights restored or not. Do you think California, California is doing that right now, where they're restoring voting rights to felons in the state of California? Do you think that the state of California is giving them their gun rights back? No, probably not. So, I don't know. It's one of the. I kind of agree with you. I think there shouldn't be any secret double probation, because that's really what they're doing. They're saying, okay, you did this crime.
Not only that,
you're going to do this amount of time.
Where's your victim?
Yeah, well, I mean, no matter what. I mean, it's one of those things. You did this crime. This is the time you're going to do. You get out, you're good to go. I mean, we're basically saying you've been rehabilitated to the point where we accept you as a citizen again. If we accept you as a citizen again, then there should be no questions about rights. You should have all your rights back. If we decide that you can't be accepted into society as a citizen, then why are we letting you out of prison in the first place?
So I went to jail. I was tried as an adult. I went to juvenile hall, actually. I was 17 and a half, turned 18, went home like a day before Christmas. That was my felony. 14 years later, I was in possession of some firearms. None of them were illegal or anything, just the fact that I had access to them. That was my federal crime. So I went to prison. I was out on bail for 24 months. I went to prison for 22 months. Came home, did 3 years of probation. It has now been over 13 more years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big fuck. There's a gap there. Whatever. What's up, John Skully? My blood pressure. We just did that one. Steve, need advice. In 2013, I found out I had kidney failure. So 3 times a week I do dialysis. Then found out I had stomach cancer, and 3 surgeries from that. And in 2017, I lost my leg due to a fucked up surgery somehow. I still get up every day, just don't know if it's worth the fight. I'm around the age of 45. Thanks for your podcast. What do you mean you don't know if it's worth the fight? You've already fucking done it.
Yeah, of course it's worth the fight.
You've already done it. There's motherfuckers walking around right now that had both fucking legs amputated and an arm. And they went back to fucking fight. They went and redeployed. You just have to find something that you want to do. Like fucking, it sucks, man. I don't have the advice to give you other than you've already gone through that. Why are you gonna fucking quit now?
Yeah, just make sure you start checking that bucket list. I mean, you know, like John said, we have a guy in the Marine Corps.
There's a dude on the SEAL team lost an arm. They fucking gave him a prosthetic and a fucking laser aiming device. And a leg. Opposite leg, opposite arm.
Both arm, both legs gone. They have to carry him around like a fucking... They carry him around like a fucking backpack and shit.
Oh,
He's still out there fucking...
in all those...
He's still out there fucking fighting it. Just, man, you never know. You might turn the corner tomorrow and they're going to be like, we got the answer to your problems. So just keep fighting, man. It's not... There's no reason to give up.
Whoever the guy is that thumbs down this video, the guy orders that cheap Chinese tactical shit. Most likely, it is somebody that works...
Just one guy, yeah.
It's somebody that works for another company or thinks he builds gear.
Yeah.
Or it's always the same dude. The crazy shit is, every one of the videos... I haven't looked. I don't know. I haven't seen in the last fucking hundreds of videos. It used to be we would publish it, and I would refresh it, and it had a thumbs down. Like, that was that whole dude's life.
Yeah.
Is us, and they're still there. It's the same guys. All right, we're
6:40, man. We're deep into it.
We're over an hour and 40 minutes into this. We'll save these ones here. This is today's right here.
Yeah, we're starting to fall behind.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to
no,
do
that's
a double.
good. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'd rather have content.
See you guys tomorrow.
Hey, do real shit, man. Like just do real shit. Whatever you're doing, do it a little faster. Do it with fucking purpose, like it's important. Because if you're not doing it like it's important, just fucking get the fuck out of the way. Like, if you're not doing it right, you're just in the way. And dude with the leg, you can still fucking go work out. You can still do shit, man. I don't know what your situation is. Fucking send me an email. Send me a note. Send me an email. We'll talk.